This is a story of how we explored Corcovado National Park in the Osa Peninsula of Costa Rica by hiking over 36 miles in 3 days. We were ready to leave our hotel in Port Jimenez by 5 a.m. and we were picked up by Jeep. From there, we arrived at Los Patos Ranger Station and then hiked 13 miles to Serena Ranger Station. Some of the Jeep ride out consisted of driving on a road, but a lot of it just consisted of following the river, driving through the river, and driving through a bit of the forest. About 30 minutes into the drive, we heard a noise, and our guide said, "Okay, we're going to take a quick break here." We didn't really understand why we'd need a break already until we got out and realized, well, shit happens. We got a flat tire. A couple minutes went by, and these guides put a new tire on, and then it was time to go again. After we got the tire fixed, we arrived at Los Patos Ranger Station and unloaded all of our stuff. Once we got our stuff ready, it was time to take off on our 13-mile hike headed towards Serena Ranger Station. This first section of the rainforest was considered an old forest or a primary forest, so there wasn't a ton of wildlife. This is because the trees only blossom once a year to sometimes once every 4 years, so there isn't a lot of fruit and food for the animals. However, there were quite a bit of bugs, some butterflies, some moths, and a couple of frogs, so here are a couple of photos of those. And we got lucky. Even though there aren't very many animals in this section of the forest, we stumbled upon an elusive tyra. Now, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's T-A-Y-R-A. The locals call it a weasel cat. It kind of looks like a big black otter with a long bushy tail. It's in the weasel family, and it eats the wild chicken-like bird. We ended up seeing 2 total during this 3-day trip, and actually 3 during our entire stay in Costa Rica, which we're just super excited about because it's actually really rare to see them. Then we kept continuing on and had to cross various streams and rivers. Our guide found some low-hanging passion fruits that weren't eaten by monkeys because they won't come down that low in fear that they'll get eaten by wild cats, so we went ahead and ate them. Then we took a quick lunch break, and we had some unexpected visitors. It seemed like these spider monkeys liked watching us just as much as we liked watching them. We could tell we had to be getting close to the new forest because we were seeing a little bit more activity as far as animals go. After these spider monkeys visited us for a while, we kept moving on. And then we had another set of visitors. Howler Monkeys! Yeah, check those things out. So we watched the Howler Monkeys for a while, and we learned a fun fact about them. It turns out they are the loudest land mammal on Earth. They are the second loudest mammal overall on Earth, only being beaten by the sperm whale. So I'll show you a little bit later just how loud these monkeys can be. After 13 miles of hiking, we finally made it to Serena Ranger Station. This would be our home for the next 2 nights. We slept in these bunks with bug nets. However, there were no walls in this area that we're sleeping in, which is really cool because it allows you to see things like these squirrel monkeys. You can just barely see them there. I'm going to show you another picture of them up close, but it's a little bit grainy. We're working with iPhones, so we take what we can get. We checked out the squirrel monkeys for a couple minutes, and then we got ready to head to dinner. We also took a moment to assess our blister and tick situation. Here's our dinner the first night. It was really, really good. They had other cool artifacts around, like all of these skeletons and bones for us to check out. And then it was just about bedtime. Honestly, we fell asleep around 8 o'clock both nights because we were so darn tired. We had originally planned to be out the door and on a morning hike by 5 a.m. But the Howler Monkeys had a little bit of a different idea and they decided they wanted us to be up earlier than that. Imagine waking up to that each morning. So we got out the door at 5 a.m. to start our day 2. So here you can see that circle is where we spent the day hiking around the Serena Ranger Station. We went about 10 miles on this second day. We were really hoping our early morning dedication would pay off and we would end up seeing a tapir. We didn't find one that morning, but we didn't give up and we didn't lose hope. So we hiked down to the river opening to watch the sunrise. It was cool seeing where the ocean and the river connect. We were visited by a cute little coati. He didn't have much fear of us and he just kind of checked us out while we checked him out. I also noticed that he didn't have much hair on his tail and he also didn't have the typical white rings on his tail that coati usually have. I asked our guide Milton why this was because I assumed it was some type of mite or skin infection. And he said there's just a population of coati in this area that simply don't have a lot of hair and that don't have the rings. It's just kind of a evolutionary adaptation and there's really no explanation why. We also learned that if you see a group of them together, they're usually females or females and juveniles, as the males choose to kind of wander alone. So if you didn't already notice the dangly bits on this guy, he is a male. And you can tell because he's all alone. As we continued to hike around that second day, we saw tons of animals. The Serena Ranger Station is located in a new forest, so there's plenty of fruits and vegetables and nuts and all different types of plants for the animals to thrive off of. We spent a little bit of time watching this toucan, and then we were super lucky with what we saw next. We saw a super cute baby spider monkey breastfeeding from his mama.
Yeah. Breastfeeding.
Oh my god.
Oh, I want to watch it too.
I don't care. There's still monkey business. It was breastfeeding. I'll show you the video in a minute.
Did you get any of it actually breastfeeding?
Mm-hmm.
Just a very.
Oh, they're so cute.
Move it just a touch to the right.
Do you mind if I move it a little bit, Milton?
Move it. It moved over 2 inches to the perfect.
There you go.
Okay.
I don't want to pick its head into this.
That's cute. Oh shit.
Yeah. One has some bits
Look at him just swinging. Okay, now. Now.
Look at the picture I took. Sure. I want to take one of you in one moment.
Oh, baby. I literally thought those leaves were a monkey.
Fun fact about these spider monkeys is the moms will actually take turns or shifts watching the babies so the other ones can go out and get food. So you'll often find one mom with a bunch of babies with her waiting for the other moms to get back. When the other moms get back, that mom will go out and get food. And they really help each other out by keeping an eye on the young so that they can get a moment away from them to get something to eat. Something really cool and really unique about Corcovado National Park, which is where we did this 3-day tour, is that you actually can't visit it without a tour guide. And our tour guide, Milton, has been giving tours in Costa Rica for the last 11 years, so he really knows his stuff. Here, he's explaining to us why one of these spider monkeys is going a little bit crazy. It turns out, most often when they find a puma or big cat, it's because the spider monkeys are giving each other this warning. In this video here, this spider monkey actually saw one of the other guests' service dog.
He's trying to warn us now, or you think he's yelling at us?
No, I think he's yelling us. Yeah, just yelling us. But at the same time, I'm keeping an eyes open because, as I said to you, we are seeing pumas or tigers, which is another predator.
So we went ahead and moved on from the monkeys and went and took a look at one of these trees. These vines hanging down are actually roots, and they're super strong, which is what Milton is showing us here. They're so strong they can actually hold people and you can swing on them. So Milton shows the boys how it's done.
So now is this thing...
And obviously if Milton's gonna do it, the boys can't be upstaged, so Drew has to give it a try.
Oh, I don't think he's trying to prove your point. I think he just doesn't. Yeah, he's like, yeah.
So Brandon goes ahead and gives it a try too. As he's doing it, Lexi decides, hey, my dumbass can do that too.
Brandon, do you think I can do it, or you think I'll fall?
It is kind of... It went really slow.
Here you go. You should. Brandon, grab me, I'm falling.
We kept hiking and we came across a little stream with a caiman in it. You can see him there by the tree. From there, Milton took us to this huge hollowed out tree. It's still alive, and it's a bit of a mystery of why it's hollowed out. It's just one of those things that it just is. So you climb in through one hollow root, and then you reach the inside.
Yep.
The bugs on the wall are crickets.
This is weird. Oh, okay. It does remind me of Bug's Life.
Don't stand up all the way. Okay.
Just wait until Lexi has that light up here.
So this is a
Oh, there's a bat up there.
Yeah, there's something flying.
Hell no. Here, let me see that headlamp.
Oh yeah, there's definitely that.
Oh, you came in the quicker route.
I like crawling through.
Whoa, it's crazy. Hello, hello.
There's a bat.
Welcome to Corcovado's hollow tree.
Oh yeah, there's a couple bats.
Isn't that crazy?
Now here's a picture of all of us inside said hollow tree. So the shortcut that Milton took to get in was the route that we took to get out. If you've ever been to Disney's Animal Kingdom and gone to the Bugs Life show, that's kind of what it felt like being in that tree, except for real. It was getting towards the end of our second day and we still hadn't seen a tapir. We were really starting to get nervous that we weren't going to find one at all. So Milton took us off the beaten path to a couple places where he's seen tapirs in the past. And lo and behold, we found a tapir! We were super excited, especially considering the fact that tapirs are critically endangered. Let's hear a little bit more about them from our guide, Milton.
Perfect.
Okay. Here we are in Corcovado and we are seeing the tapir. It's the largest terrestrial mammal that Central America has. The population in this part is very, very healthy. You can see them very often laying all day long with moths like these ones, refreshing. They are mostly crepuscular animals, and so they are not so active during the day. Enjoy it.
As Milton said, they basically sleep during the day. But that's really okay with me. With less than 5,000 left, I was just happy to see one. As we were watching the tapir, Lexi spotted a pack of wild boar nearby. This was a little nerve-wracking because Milton warned us that there were two types of wild boar in the national park. One type was pura vida, and they would be fine if we saw them. But the other type, we would have to climb a tree to get away from them because they attack. Also, look at how cute these two are, scratching each other's butts with their heads. Well, I hope you aren't getting sick of watching monkeys yet, because it's Howler Monkey time again. Look at this one with the cute little teeny tiny baby clinging onto her. I just love watching them because they just look like little weird, hunched over, hairy, tree-dwelling humans almost. And it's just so odd because I never expected that they would watch us back like this. Like it seems like they watch us for entertainment just as much as we were watching them for entertainment.
Supposed to be natural.
It's a picture behind the picture.
Oh, that's cool.
That was the first one.
Brandon.
You guys are so mean.
Come on, Brandon. Defend yourself.
It's just my face, guys.
Oh, hey, let's not strangle each other when we're holding the baby. Play as easy with the baby.
What is this drama going on right now? Rude.
After hiking 10 miles that day, it was time to head back to the ranger station for dinner. As you can imagine, we're in a bit of pain because over the last 2 days, we have hiked about 23 miles. Not just regular hiking. This is uphill, downhill, on the beach, through streams, and other rugged terrain.
And how are you feeling?
Dead inside. My feet feel like I'd be better off removing them. My calves feel like they're on fire. My armpits smell like garbage.
Yeah, but that's nothing new.
Unfortunately, our third and final day rolled around, and it was time for us to get ready to hike the 13 miles out of the national park. Oh yeah, did I mention? You can't get into the national park by car. You literally have to hike in the 13 miles and hike out the 13 miles if you want to visit the park. Or you can be extremely lame and pay a lot of money to take a boat in. Even if you choose to take the boat in, you don't get to see everything because you can only stay a few hours in the morning. You really need to do the 3-day hike if you want to be able to see everything and do everything. Anyways, here's a look at the map. On the way out, we were visited by another pack of wild boar. These ones were a little more playful and a little more active this morning. It was a lot of fun watching them act almost like dogs play fighting with each other. Then we got a visit from the Capuchin Monkeys, my personal favorite of all 4 of Costa Rica's monkey species. Oh yeah, did I mention on the way out we had to cross a river frequented by crocodiles and bull sharks? Milton planned it so that we would be leaving at low tide. He said he's left at high tide in the past, but leaving at high tide kind of sucks because he says depending on the time of year, he's even had to walk with his whole body submerged underwater, just holding his backpack above his head. So I was okay with leaving at low tide. I didn't really want to get bit by a crocodile or a bull shark or be soaking wet for the rest of the 13-mile hike back out. As we hiked along the coast, we saw many Scarlet Macaws. These birds hang out on the coast because they eat the almonds in the almond trees on the coast.
Want me to tap?
Sure.
We don't have any pretty birds like that.
No.
You got the robins.
Robins are good.
It was on this hike that we saw our second agouti, but it was the first time I was able to get a recording of it. The first one came and went so fast, but this one stayed for a little bit. An agouti is basically a large rodent. Milton even called it a rat. We walked for miles and miles on basically untouched beach. Obviously it's been touched, but when you're walking for miles and don't see any other humans on the beach, it's just a really cool, kind of surreal feeling. Then we visited the remains of a baby whale that had been eaten by tiger sharks. From there, Milton decided since we're an adventurous group, he was going to take us to go visit an ocean cave. You can only see the ocean cave during low tide. During high tide, it fills up, obviously. The cave was created by the waves slapping up against this rock wall.
So was this cave just formed by the waves, Milton?
Yes, by the waves. Really by the waves.
Well, I mean, of course we had to go in it. So we worked on scaling this rock formation to get inside the cave without having to walk through the water.
These creep me out.
That's all the bats. Do you see it?
Immediately after exiting the cave, we used hand sanitizer because, holy shit, there were a lot of bats in there. From there, we went back to the beach and kept walking. Kept going on our 13-mile hike back to the next ranger station.
Somebody wants to use the binoculars. See very, very nice. Little better than the discovery. So I'm gonna walk a little bit about this area to see if it's any other feather. See if I can find another feather.
And we kept walking. Some of us were very sweaty. Some of us were in a lot of pain. Some of us barely had any toes left due to the fact that the toes blistered up so much and basically fell off in chunks. Some of us were wondering how they were going to make it the rest of this time out of the rainforest. Some of us were just in rough shape. I'm not going to name any names, but some of us. Also, I just love hermit crabs, and I couldn't believe, like, every step you took, it was just crowds of hermit crabs running for their lives. And here is a tiger heron. Pretty cool. And here is the missing chunk of one of my toes. I had this on both sides. And now at the very end of the hike, I was able to wrap them boys up. So now that we're at the end, let's take one final look at the map. We started at our hotel in Port Jimenez, where we were picked up and drove to Los Patos Ranger Station. From there, we hiked 13 miles to Serena Ranger Station. Then we hiked 10 miles around Serena Ranger Station, and the next day, we hiked another 13 miles to Carate. From there, we were picked up and taken back to Port Jimenez. This was truly an amazing adventure, and I will never forget it for as long as I live. I feel so blessed to have been able to explore this little hidden treasure that is the Osa Peninsula of Costa Rica.